everyone, and welcome to Amantya podcast series. We are back with yet another interesting discussion. The topic of today's podcast is From Interworking to Convergence, Shaping the Future of 4G-5G Coexistence. Today, a whole ecosystem of networks is available to us, from Wi-Fi, 4G to the latest 5G. However, each of these technologies have very unique and different characteristics, capabilities, and network function requirements. And even though 5G network deployments are increasing rapidly, however, replacing 4G and non-3GPP technologies with 5G will still take a few years. And initial 5G networks will need to converge and collaborate with the existing 4G networks that are more extensively developed and covered. Therefore, seamless integration of multiple technologies will play a critical role for network operators to provide high quality of service to their customers both in urban and rural areas. So how does one enable single-node integration of 3GPP and non-3GPP access technologies to simplify future 5G network deployments and strengthen the 5G ecosystem? To share his views and deep understanding of the topic, we have with us today Amantya's Senior Director of Technology, Ankur Bharadwaj. Ankur has nearly 2 decades of experience in the telecom domain. At Amantya, he handles multiple telco initiatives, with 5G data plane and multi-access gateway being some of the exciting ones. Welcome, Ankur. Wonderful to have you here with us today and look forward to your views on the topic.
Thank you for calling me, and I would like to answer as much as I can.
That's great. So, shall we get started?
Yes.
Okay. So, my first question to you, Ankur, is how do you foresee the interworking between 4G and 5G evolving in the few coming years? And how can these two technologies complement each other to unlock new possibilities?
So, when we are talking about 4G and 5G interworking, 4G networks are already available in most of the geography. For 5G part, we are seeing many deployments as we are speaking. And 5G technology by default is supposed to interwork properly with 4G. The way it's going to be deployed in most of the cases is that for traditional services like voice and SMS, it will be 4G infrastructure which will be utilized. And for new use cases where we talk about ultra low latency, massive device support, or better data rates, that's where the 5G use cases will be used. So typical deployment will be, typically 4G and 5G dual connectivity, and that will provide seamless transition for devices. Apart from that, it will give increased capacity, better data rates, and I think it's gonna go longer than a couple of years where 4G and 5G will coexist.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a collaboration for a longer time.
Yeah.
So, but every, new thing comes with its own set of challenges. So what is what are the key challenges that you see can come in the way of seamless interworking between 4G and 5G, and how can these be addressed?
Okay. So first of all, we need to understand that 4G and 5G technologies are bringing a different kind of radio compatibility. So 5G offers different data rates and different coverage. In order to achieve that, they are coming up with a new requirement for frequency bands. That being said, 5G radio network will require different radio front end and new deployments. So coexisting technology for radio is not possible. In order to achieve it, there will be new deployments. That requires significant amount of investment as well as time. That is first challenge. So what most of the operators are doing is that they are going for a phased deployment. In a way, there will be 5G penetration in the dense or urban setup. For rural area, it will be 4G for some more time. That reduces the expenditure part significantly. Apart from that, when we talk about challenges, so another challenge is that, when we talk about interworking, it requires fine-tuning, lot of testing, and handover has to be seamless. In order to achieve that, there's a lot of work which is happening in the 3GPP and GSMA specification groups. which is ensuring, uh, seamless handover, better connectivity. Uh, Third challenge, what I see is that, since we are talking about new spectrum, that allocation will be done on the basis of geography. Some geography will have access to new spectrum allocation, and there's a lot of work happening across the globe for new spectrum allocation. Uh, so these are the challenges, I think, when we talk about 5G deployment.
We have ways to address them on the in place.
Yes, most of them are being addressed.
Yeah. And what role does standardization play in, ensuring this, smooth interworking and convergence of the two technologies? And how are, organizations working towards harmonizing these two?
So when we talk about the 5G network design, the very first requirement they had was that it should interop or it should work with 4G network, existing network. And 5G, when we talk about release 50, there is a NSA mode which talks about two network coexisting, which will provide dual connectivity to user for 4G and 5G, and handover and everything is quite seamless. So when we talk about the specification part, I think they are doing phenomenal job and making this interworking possible. Apart from that, so 3GPP is the main body. Apart from that, GSMA is also working, on the interworking part. At currently, they are working on release 18. Most of the deployments are still on release 50. So we'll see a lot of new features coming into, 5G domain when we go for release 16, 17, and 18. Right. Yeah.
And coming to use cases, any particular use cases or industries where this interworking convergence is, particularly more, crucial? And what new applications or services that can emerge from this convergence?
So when we talk about data rates in 4G, we were having decent data rates when we moved from 3G networks to 4G. So what 5G brings extra is, higher data rates, which are required for machine-to-machine communication. And then it talks about the most important part is ultra-low latency, which is required, which enables a lot of use cases, starting from AR/VR, where we need high bandwidth and very low latency. That is one use case. It was available in 4G also, but you'll see a lot of new use cases or new application development in this area. Second one is, when we talk about V2X or automated vehicle. So main issue was that, when we talk about vehicle to vehicle or vehicle to infrastructure communication, that requires a very quick turnaround time, which is enabled with ultra low latency use case in 5G. So we'll see a lot of traction in that area also. Now, there are use cases where we talk about telemedicine consultation, which is assisted, and that provides a better, medical services at remote areas. That is one, another use case. And then the most important is Industry 4.0. So you'll see a lot of devices, 5G enabled. There will be a lot of deployments, especially with 5G, private 5G also. So there will be a better, rollout for 5G in the industrial, factory floors and those areas.
A lot of exciting new use cases we can expect to, keep rolling out.
Yes. And we have not talked about Mac so far. Yes. That is another. Yes. There will be new areas getting developed in 5G, which will change the way we communicate with network.
So lastly, my last question to you, and what is Amantya doing in this?
Amantya, we have 5G core, control plane, all the nodes. Apart from that, we have user plane multi-access UBF, which gives a integrated single node deployment for 4G, 5G, and non-3GPP access for 5G. So It's a seamless interface, and this enables us to put new feature requirements such as ATSSS and multi-part TCP, which are there in release 16. So we are working in the industry 4.0 use cases where we'll have better data rate, unified network nodes. Apart from that, when we talk about, with our customers, tier 1 operators, we are doing, fine tuning for, different algorithms, handover parameters. That puts us in a technology space, 5G deployment, where we are talking about different technology and different use cases. We are working with our customers in order to make it possible.
That's a lot of interesting work that's happening at Amantya on the. That's so nice. Thank you so much, Ankur. Very, very informative session.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for inviting me.
So much. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for listening in. I hope the session gave you some useful insights. We shall be back again with another interesting topic in discussion. Until then, this is Rohina signing off. Thank you. Bye-bye.